a month, or if you want to pay like a bulk amount, and then we'll provide you with all these wonderful services.
Yep.
Yeah, so you
work,
you build around the person.
I mean, we build around the person. My particular specialism is property.
Mm-hmm.
We've got another partner, Salim Nawaz, who works with us, who works on the business, head of business consulting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another lady.
He also works with like big sort of investment projects as well.
That's right.
Global fundings and stuff. So if, from 5 million and up, I heard.
Well, what it is, we've got, we're a consultancy.
Uh-huh. But you also have access to investors and finance.
Well, we're slightly unique in the sense that we also have our own external businesses that we manage and control. So we've got 6 other business interests, which include global finance, so anything from 10 million upwards, going up to unlimited amounts of funds, because of the type of connections that our team has. We do bridging finance, closed and open, which is short-term finance to help you deal with raising finance quickly against your house or otherwise. We do rescue my properties, which is people who've got portfolio issues, or they've got a portfolio and they've got potential in it to actually grow it further by leverage against it. Then we work with them to help them consolidate and look forward and develop a future business plan, maybe in property or otherwise. Yeah.
Let me try to understand Rescue My Property a bit more. I mean, what exactly do you do? If say, for example, I own a property and I have a loan on that property, and now I'm running into arrears and I'm running into difficulty that the property is about to get repossessed. Can you help with that? Do I understand that's what Rescue My Property means? Or?
Yeah, what I'll do is we do 2 aspects again. It's the you side, which is Caroline. So I'll let her step in first and just give her input in terms of how she deals with that typical client from the you side first. Then I'll come on to really what the business side of it does as well. But
right, what I would do normally is just get them to talk to me for about 5 minutes and just describe what's going on in their lives, and just describe, and using the words, just listening to what words they're using, and what tonality they're using, and how their breathing is, and I'm taking all that detail in, and even though it's just on the phone, it's very significant. And if they're saying, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, that's actually telling me that they're not succeeding. So their language is actually dictating what's happening in their lives. So I can say straight away that all the things that they've been trying to do have been a failure. So one of the tips that I would give them is a tip on their language. To change what they're saying, so it makes it.
So you're breeding confidence in the listener. So that's what.
Totally, I'm totally actively listening to what they're saying, because how they're describing what's happening to them is actually very real for them, and their language and their tonality and their words is describing what is happening, their reality. And from that very short, sort of 5 or 10 minutes, I can give them a lot of information about what is really going on. And if there's some issues within the property, for instance, we had one client that she had a portfolio that she was just throwing money into, and it was just, she was throwing a lot of money at it, and she couldn't afford to do other things. And she said, I'm broke. And essentially...
Yes, she owns all these properties, and she's broke.
And what was happening is she was just throwing money at it, even though she was given advice many times over not to get rid of them. And what we uncovered was that there was an attachment, she had an attachment to things and people. And so it wasn't a business issue. She'd had these properties for about 20 years, and she wanted to pass them to her children, but she was throwing money at them. So it wasn't that she was actually going to be passing anything on, and it wasn't business. She wasn't looking at it from a business perspective. It wasn't a business problem. It was actually a personal problem. And I said to her, in her saying, I don't want to get rid of them, I want to pass them on to my children, and she told me how much money she was throwing at it. I turned around to her and I said, well, do you find that in your life you're attached to things? I said, so have you got a partner a partner that is from a failed relationship, and is he still around? And she said, yes, he is. I said, isn't that interesting? I said, do you find that you're just attached to things and just don't let go? And she said yes.
So it starts to become an obsession for her.
So then it's not a business issue. So even if you speak to her from a business perspective, she'll have all of these issues clouding what her judgment is going to be. And that's the key. And when you uncover or raise awareness to the client of what their business issue, what their personal issue is, then when you are in awareness, you can do something about it. And it's you know, because that's your behaviour. You're not recognising what you're doing. It's just your natural instinctual behaviour. So once you understand that, then it becomes uncovered. And then because it's exposed, it's a reality that you were aware of, and then you will be thinking about it. Because you can't not think about something that you're thinking about, not to think about.
No, it's very interesting what you said, because a successful businessman told me actually when I was like 18 or 19, he said to me, look, you know, Sammy, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
That's right.
And that's what happens. People just continue digging, thinking, oh, I'm just going to get there eventually, and I'll just keep throwing money in.
Well,
so you just got to stop and step back and detach yourself and just look at it from another perspective, you know, just look back at the whole situation. And then you realise, oh, wait a minute, maybe it isn't worth it anymore. Maybe I should just cut my losses and move on. You
can't resolve a problem in the space and the thought patterning that you created it. You have to step out and take another perspective, or get somebody else's perspective, because if you just keep carrying on in the same vein, it will not get resolved. You have to look at it with the different eyes, different filters, because as you said, you'll just keep digging a hole. So you have to stop, almost helicopter out of your body, and then see it from a different perspective.
Excellent. So that's what you do. You look at that side, and then Lucky
so of course what happens there is, like, take for instance the lady with the properties, the attachment. I said, well, what are you attached to? And she says, well, I don't want to let it go. So if she's attached to that, then when she knows that and it's uncovered, she'll say, well, actually, this is throwing good money after bad. You know, yes, I should get rid of them. Because they're not going to be for my children. So then once that awareness is uncovered for her, and she's got a way forward in terms of her own personal issues, then it's passed over to the business side, so they can do the business.
Okay, so we're just going to go for a commercial, and inshallah after the commercial we'll come back and we'll continue with our guests. So see you at the other side, inshallah.
TV, connecting you to the source. ICRA TV, connecting you to the source.
And welcome back to another episode of I Mean Business. We just came back from the commercial, and we have our two special guests. So if you just joined us, quick introduction again. We've got two business consultants from a consultancy firm called UNB. So I introduce you back to Lucky Singh. He brings the luck into the business, and he also sings. Can you sing? No?
Not really.
Not really? So what does Sing stand for then?
Sing means lion.
Lion? Oh, yes. I'm getting scared already.
But we don't eat you out.
You have a wild side to you.
Our objective is to help businesses and individuals.
Right, okay. Okay, and we also have Caroline.
Hi, hello everyone.
So you're in, like you said in the beginning of the first side of the I'm in Business, you said that you're a personal development, NLP.
I actually work on the U part.
So the U side.
The U side. So any stresses, strains, any issues, challenges that you face personally, that's what I would help you with. So
excellent. You
are not the business, you are you.
A person, yeah.
And the issues start with you that affect the business.
Okay, and Lucky, you
well, I wanted to
were
say
just
that,
talking about the business side now.
Yeah, I think the other thing to point out about Caroline is that she's actually